All right, guys, welcome back to yet another portal update. It's been a while. It's the holidays. Give me a little break. So we'll start off with another QB update. The real update is we have nothing. We're still waiting for Cam Ward to decide at this point. DJU again is still there. I don't believe he's taken any other visits, so I still think it's if Cam Ward doesn't come with Florida State, it's DJU fairly easily and fairly quickly. There's just no timetable right now to know for Cam Ward. Even on three Pete's NACO said he didn't really have one the other day. A date that they did say, though, is that January 15th is the deadline for players to declare for the NFL draft. So a decision from Cam Ward does likely have to come before then. Then we'll go to Evan Stewart, who is currently the number one uncommitted player in the transfer portal right now, wide receiver out of Texas A&M, former five-star out of Frisco Liberty High School in Texas outside of Dallas. It was originally thought that Alabama and Texas were places you were looking at. That was ruled out the other day. Now it is seen as his top schools are Ole Miss, USC, and Florida State. We think it is not likely, but we think it is possible that he could be a part of those early January visits. This kid is very good. Obviously, number one player in the portal, former five-star, would be a huge addition and a huge get for Florida State if they can, especially with how many wide receivers are leaving for the draft. Another one, Quavius Marks from Mississippi State. We mentioned him in the last one. He has since committed to USC. However, we do still expect him to visit January 3rd as already scheduled. This is an interesting one. I mean, it works just like recruiting. There's no pen hits paper in transfer portal for the most part. They have until they enroll. So as long as he's not enrolled anywhere, he can visit other places and still commit elsewhere. I believe we've seen a flip in the portal and a Colorado offensive lineman flip from Colorado to somewhere else. So it is possible after these kids commit, they are not locked in until they enroll. A few did sign on signing day, but for the most part, they won't, and then they will just enroll into the school. Another one, also USC linebacker Trey Curtis is expected to visit January 3rd. He's a former four-star from the 2023 class. He is from Louisiana. There are a lot of ties to Louisiana on the staff and on the team. FSU did offer him out of high school, but according to his On3 page, it does not look like he was heavily recruited by the Seminoles. Another one is Wes Walker, not Wes Welker, Wes Walker out of Tennessee, defensive back. He had 33 solo tackles and 2 PBUs. This is one to watch. I've not added it to my written updates yet, so you guys get your first preview here. Another one to watch is Stone Blandon, linebacker out of South Carolina. 52 total tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, and 4 pass breakups. He just entered recently, and he is another one, our new one that we're adding to the watch list. Lastly, we have Nick Sorton. Nick Sorton is one that has not officially entered the portal yet. So I want to make that clear that we can't really gauge interest until he officially enters. But this is one, if he does put his name in, it is one to keep a very close eye on. Bruce Feldman was the one to report that he is expected to transfer. I do see Texas A&M being a factor here as well, as he's from Bryan, Texas, which if you know Texas, it is Texas A&M is basically in Bryan, Texas. College Station is like its own town for the college, but everywhere else is Bryan, Texas. So it'd be hard to believe he wouldn't look at the hometown team in the transfer portal. Outside of that, we have one kid we are looking at who could visit for January 3rd, but we don't know for sure yet, and that is Jalen Lucas, running back from Indiana, who we did mention last time on these updates. He is someone who I think with the running back room not being depleted, but like getting there with Rodney Hill and Trey Benson leaving, there's a spot for more running backs. You also see that with Marks coming in and looking at Florida State as well. But where we think Jalen Lucas is unique is he's a very good punt returner, and Florida State hasn't really had a specialized guy who's always just been good at punt returning. Like I said last time, Keon Coleman has been very good this past year for Florida State. Obviously, he's gone now, but he had never done it before. This is some guy who's done it before and has experience, and I think could be a good fit at both running back and punt returner. And to add on to that, he was close to committing to Florida State the first time around. So now this is his second chance, his second opportunity. He's also the brother of Florida State wide receiver, now running back for the Orange Bowl, at least on the depth chart, Ja'Kai Douglas. So a lot of connections there, and there's a good chance that he could visit January 3rd. Oh, another one that I left out, I almost forgot. I forgot to write it down. It's Cassius Howell, edge rusher out of Bowling Green. He is one of the best players in the MAC so far this season. He just played in the bowl game yesterday. He told me personally that he is looking at setting up a visit to Florida State. He has interest. The staff has reached out to him. Again, this could be a next like verse type, not verse because it's not coming from FCS, but from the group of 5. So maybe more like a Fisk on the defensive line, even though he'll be playing edge, to where he's very good at that level. And we'll see how he does in Power 5 if he does come to Florida State. As I said right last time, it's a dead period right now, so hard to get as much, but there's kids entering. We can try to get news on whether or not they're visiting. We do expect January 3rd to be a fairly big portal visit week or weekend. January 3rd isn't a weekend, but we do expect that time period to be a big visit time for the portal. Florida State does begin spring classes on January 8th, like I said, to enroll. Grad transfers do have some leeway there, but for the most part, you'll have to see kids make a decision before January 8th if they want to come to Florida State. Obviously, there's going to be loopholes there behind the scenes if some kid wants to enroll later. But for the most part, they should be done before then. That is all we got for today. Thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next one.